Hello world, this is ComputerHeat, and I've got a very special shoutcast that was sent to me, and we have a game between Siberian, the lead strategist at COH2.org, and he is playing against Aimstrong, and Aimstrong's playing under the name Scourge of God, and perhaps you could tell us why Aimstrong is under the name Scourge of God, special guest Aimstrong.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back in the casting part. It's been a long time. Also, the playing part. I haven't played the game for a long time, since last summer, I guess. And then I started here 1.5 months ago. And with regards to the name, I just got hyped over that Rome Total War 2 trailer that's coming up with Attila the Hun. So
I didn't know about that trailer, but I just listened to a podcast series about Attila the Hun, and yes, I thought he called himself Punishment of God. Anyway,
I think
it's
I'm
a
not sure.
translation.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, okay. And we're both paused at 5 seconds, and how about we get this thing going? Would you do the honors of counting us in, Aimstrong?
Yes. 3, 2, 1. Unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just following you at the moment, and we've got some conscripts cooking. And although you said you haven't been playing recently, I checked your player card, and you're currently on some rather large streaks and with high ranking. So, I'm going to take what you said with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, I've been playing for 1.5 months, and I've had some time off there, so.
Yeah, well, noob. So,
Oh,
Siberian
yeah,
has made a Kubel wagon, and he's rushing his truck up pretty fast. So
yeah.
this
I like to
is
go. I like to go with the 4 conscript starters, Russians, and with the Oberkommando West (OKW) right now, it's very popular to rush cutoffs with his first couple of units. And that's what I was guessing that he would do. And as you can see right now, it's exactly what he's doing. So what you want to do with this opening is that you spread out your troops. You can see I'm coming in from 3 sides right now.
Yeah, so you can see the combat engineers coming up from the top, the conscripts rushing up the middle, and the second squad of conscripts coming up from the bottom. So you're just going straight into, well, I don't know, Siberian probably thinking, haha, he's playing straight into my hands. But I can see his Stern Pioneers are still laying down barbed wire and taking extra damage. It doesn't seem, it's not good for your health.
Yeah, they're pretty hurt right now, and his Kubelwagen is all alone. But
Retreat already.
he,
Second Kubelwagen now.
yeah, he did surprise me a bit with that one. I think that's a bit overkill.
I don't know. I've been hearing, the Kubelwagen's really strong at the moment. Wow, looks like this first one may go down, but if your combat engineers get pinned, they're going to stop firing.
Yeah, that was a shame. I remember that now. I think I slapped the table.
It's got that is one of the more frustrating things, just given how easy it is for the OKW player to get those Kubelwagens back to full health as long as they have their Stern Pioneers alive.
I think the worst thing is when it gets main gun destroyed. Like care about that when it's at 5% health. That takes the cake.
So it looks like you have managed to stop the base pin that was going in. And Siberian, his map is pretty bad right now, but he's got all of his units alive. He's got all his Kubelwagens. And how do you consider this at the moment?
He's off to a very slow start, and I'm in a superior position right now, seeing that he has only capped at 1 point, and his Kubelwagens, they're not that dangerous when you get fast 18-8s.
If you see that you're purchasing those as of a couple of seconds ago.
Yeah, exactly, because I know that he doesn't have that many units out as well right now, other than the Kubelwagens. I think he just got his first folks right now as the 4th unit, so.
Yes, they're coming up, and oh man, this truck, if he gets adventurous with that again, the supply truck, you could actually take it out with an AT grenade and a little bit of focused fire.
Yeah, they deal pretty good damage to them. So right now I'm spreading out my troops to like get a feel for where he is, so that I can. I like to say that the game right now is about logistics. You need to move your troops in the most efficiently possible way, and that's how you can win.
Yes, and while you say that, I do see that you've got this one squad of conscripts that's just sitting up in the house, a house near Siberian's base. And can you tell me what you're doing with that over there?
Yeah, if you turn off the fog of war, you can see that they can see his Kubel wagon there. So that conscript squad right now is forcing his, or at least that's the reaction he's making, his Kubel wagon to just stand there. And I feel that's advantages for me right now, considering the map.
I see that you're going for a new combat engineer right now, and you've got quite good map control. The early base pin didn't really work from Siberian. You were able to push him off with, well,
Oh, his Kubel wagon just went down in the south.
excellent. Oh, it is close enough that he's going to be able to recover a bit of fuel out of that. So, not so bad for him to lose that right there. Oh
It's
man.
it's bad for him because he overinvested in them. I feel. I think
Yeah.
getting two is a bit overkill. It's a bit too cheesy, if you ask me. I like to get one, and I think it's a fun unit to use. But getting two, that will also hurt your hurt your game unless you get lucky with them. I feel.
I'm liking this use of soft pedaling away using Ura from your conscripts, and looks like they're using tripwire flares in a couple of places around the map.
Yeah, actually, it's a habit from Company of Heroes 1, and then you went infantry company and could lay mines with the rifleman. But
Oh,
it, it's not only that. I've had a lot of games where my opponent retreats with one troop, and then he trips over one of those mines, and then it's a squad wipe.
I've lost a fair number of snipers to them, so
Oh, I've
d-
never seen that, but that
oh
sounds really
god, that's a
frustrating.
terrible feeling. I've killed snipers with them too, so you know, and that's a
Yeah.
joy. That is a joyous feeling. Siberian's gotten his tier 1 up, and his Kubel wagon is still sitting over, watching your conscripts, watching his Kubel wagon, and I see that you've gotten your tier 2 and are getting a Maxim.
Yeah, with the max amount, I feel I'll be able to confine him to that part of the map. And I feel that as the game progresses on, the Soviets are, depending on your commander choice, they have the advantage in the late game. So I'm completely fine with having just this part of the map if I can keep him there.
Still, with that amount of territory, he's got a fuel, he's got a munitions point, he's kind of got everything that he needs. Although, given his limited resource income as OKW, I thought he'd be trying to make some more cutoff attempts. But I don't know. I guess he's feeling the loss of that Cooper wagon, and I'm curious to see what kind of tech he gets out.
And not only that, but when he goes an opening with two vehicles and he doesn't really get the bang for his buck out from it, his combat troops will have to capture points instead of fighting or stalling in that house that I am right now, for example, which
Yes.
which allows
Oh.
me to confine him even more when he tries to cap. So it's like a domino effect.
Could you tell me what commander Siberian has picked? I see he's got the MG34 set up for a little while.
Then it must be either the Fallschirmjäger doctrine
Let's
or
look over.
I'm gonna check. Yeah, it's the Luftwaffe doctrine with the Fallschirmjägers.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that company as OKW. I used to use the one with the Jaeger Light Recon Squad, I think they're called.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they worked out that well. But then I switched over to the Fallschirmjäger, and they're a really good infantry unit.
I see that Siberian is trying to take your cutoff, although it's not actually going to cut you off from anything because you're still connected to the middle victory point.
Well, what I think he's doing is just you can see he is keeping three of my units away right now. And maybe that will give him a chance to take back the top part of the map. But maybe it's, I don't know, when he writes that, it could also just be because he's frustrated and has some poor judgment in it. I'm not sure.
Well, perhaps Mr. I don't know how to say his last name. Hopefully, maybe Siberian will come in and commentate on that. Oh, a Molotov goes in on the MG34, and Siberian He's got it packed up, but he's not retreating, and it looks like he's managed to get out of the fire, though.
Yeah, I feel when you're playing in 1 versus 1, and the same goes for team games, then you should always be aware that when you write stuff like he does, it just satisfies the opponent. Because, I mean, 90% of the time or something, it is out of frustration. And you can
No.
notice it in the opponent's play. He's going to play worse.
As Yogi
Oh,
Berra,
oh,
to quote Yogi Berra, 90% of the game is half mental, so, yes.
yeah. I see, I'm not sure why what he has against me. But, uh, uh, if he wants to, he can just write me up sometime if he wants to talk about it. And
Storm Pioneers take down a combat engineer in the middle, so that's not
yeah,
a huge loss for you. But at this point of the game, you got plenty of fuel. But what? I suppose we'll find out what you're going to tech. But what's going through your head at this point?
right now I want a special unit mix that's really efficient, and it's also one of the reasons I feel that the Soviets are the best faction right now, with OKW as the second best, and that's because with the tier 2 and elite infantry as the Soviets, you basically have counters to everything.
Yes, the guards in particular, I know have been a headache, bête noire for a lot of OKW players. And
It's funny that you mentioned the guards, because I actually prefer the shock troops to them. But as you will see in this game, it's what the playstyle I'm using as the Soviets reminds me a lot about the playstyle I used as Wehrmacht in Company of Heroes 1. So that means it's a lot of infantry and then stalling for a heavy tank. I I haven't been that original, I guess, in that regard. But that's why I'm just holding the fuel.
So it looks like Siberian is starting to expand a little bit on the south, but he seems, content to let you come towards him in the little pocket that he's carved out for himself. Although you've got him triple capped right now, he's going to need to expand a little bit more in order to just to stay in the game.
Yeah, he's been a bit on his back foot after his opening, but now that he's getting his troops out, then he will be able to fight back, which you can see is actually happening right now. He has enough troops to keep the north safe, but he also has an additional unit, the Fallschirmjäger, to start harassing the south. I don't
Yeah.
have that good defensive line anymore.
Now I see that you're getting yourself a sniper right now, which is that in reaction to what you're facing, or is that just a unit that you like to get in most 1v1 situations?
It's a unit I like to get after I have tier 2. I've been toying a bit with going tier 1 first, but I think you have some weaknesses then that can be exploited with the early vehicles. And I also think that the Maxim is possibly the best MG in the game, relatively, because of the 6-man crew.
I think you will find a lot of agreement on that point.
And it's also, if you want extra cheesiness with the Maxim, then you just use attack move with it.
Oh.
It's really, really lame. But
yes, it is.
but with regards to the sniper, if you look at my unit composition right now, it's if I went into his territory right now, I would just get slaughtered without the sniper. So the sniper right now allows me to start taking back the territory that he's taken.
Yes.
And I also feel that the OKW doesn't have the best counters to it. And if you notice, I've picked the commander right now, and it's the commander with the ISU in this game.
Good old shock motor heavy tactics.
And with regards to the ISU as the OKW, then their only real counter to it is going the Jagdtiger doctrine.
Obviously, something that's not going to be available to Siberian in this game,
since he went with the Fallschirmjägers, exactly.
Yes.
And it's just become a habit to get the sniper. But with regards to strategies, then if you get the sniper as the Soviets, his only proper counter to it will be Fallschirmjäger coming out from a building and hoping to kill them.
So I see you've already used the sniper flare, which is another thing that can come in very much in handy when you have the ISU.
Yeah, it's a really nice ability, especially on the winter maps when the storm is coming. Uh, but I just like it because I'm floating munitions right now.
I'm a little surprised to see Siberian has gotten these Panzerschrecks and his Volksgrenadiers already. I mean, you went tier 2 earlier, have not shown any signs of a vehicle yet. I think seeing tier 2 and tier 1, Siberian's a good player. He's going to know that you're stalling for some kind of calling tank, and is probably expecting the ISU. I mean, KV8 or IS2 is of course also possible.
Yeah, it's important to have a good mix of your commanders so that your opponent isn't exactly isn't completely sure which one you want. So he could be expecting the KV right now, but at the same time he doesn't know for sure if I'm building tier 3 right now, which would really hurt him actually in his current position.
Yeah, could you tell me, skip over to him and tell if he is getting any vehicles? I see he's gotten his tier 3 up, and actually a walking stoop would be really brutal against you right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's getting.
Ah.
It'll be out very soon.
I love it when I guess correctly.
It's a good unit. I think it one-shots buildings as long as one of the missiles hit them.
Oh yeah, I think any garrison in the game, or at least all of the 1v1 maps, I think all of those garrisons can be destroyed by a single rocket, like you say.
It's pretty extreme. It also has a habit of one-shotting units, so I hate being up against it. It was him getting that is actually a pretty good decision in this current situation.
Oh, I see your shock troopers trying to charge towards the Kuba wagon, but without. Oh, here comes the first stupid shot. Oh,
I was really worried that it would get that second building in the middle.
Yeah, it came pretty close. That was a whole squad of conscripts down and a couple of shock troops.
The AT gun misses the Kuba.
Yeah, yeah, it'll do that, particularly if the Kuba wagon's moving. That thing is hard to hit. I think it has the smallest size of any unit, of any vehicle in the game, so AT guns do tend to miss against it quite a lot. Smoke grenade out here in the middle from your shock troops. Is that just to force the enemy to come closer, or...?
I think it was because his troops were nearing, and I had given the order, but I hadn't seen that the Fallschirmjäger and Volksgrenadier was coming.
Just to dazzle us with fancy particle effects. We see flanking units coming down from the south from Siberian, so you could actually catch your AT gun on, catch it on the hop. Plus you might just be trying to take off some of your territory. You see the Zis barrage going in, but Siberian is quick to move out of the way of that.
Just lost an engineer squad to a world last night.
Yeah, it looked like their flamethrower exploded, and then all three of the guys got critted. That's unlucky, but I'm gonna say.
Well, when the flamethrower explodes, then the fire that is on the ground, it deals really large amounts of damage. So you need to notice it. If you don't, then you're gonna lose the squad. If they stand on top of it.
So I can see you setting up a couple of units. Look like you're getting ready to try to confront Siberian down in the south. Well, these Fallschirmjäger are going to do terrible damage against your conscripts.
They bang for buck-wise. They are better on the long range, and I'm also trying to get them right now with the MG and the sniper. But
yes, he's in a really dicey situation, but looks like he's going to make it around safely, and the rockets are falling once again. Down goes the church. Take that, God.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna go for that one to make it easier for him to hold the middle.
I thought he was trying to catch your sniper on the road.
What was it? I think the sniper was at the southern wreckage, the Panther wreckage. So. But now, with both buildings down in the middle, he has an advantage with the current unit compositions, since with my composition right now, it's best for stalling, and there's not really anything to stall behind, and let the snipers take their pickings.
Yeah, the Kuba wagon's gonna have a second wind with all of your garrison cover destroyed, but looked, it seems like Siberian is starting to expand out from his stronghold up in the north. He's kind of playing it sort of a, old Company of Heroes 1 sort of defensive. Ooh, oh, I thought that was a real grenade going on the retreating units. But carving out his territory and expanding from there.
Yeah, he's done a good job at holding that and getting back into the game. Oh,
I saw
down
that.
in the middle. The shock troop grenade seems to be really effective in max range. And this part of the game right now, the late mid game, which we're about to exit, as you'll see soon, is where my build as the Soviets is the weakest, since I haven't gotten any new units now for for a long time, as you can see.
Yeah, so your army is atrophying a little bit. Oh, and your conscripts get lucky as they retreat through their own flames and don't lose a single man. So we got the walking Stuka out from Siberian, and he's not really done much else with his tier buildings. Can you tell me if he's saving up for anything in particular? I would think maybe he could try to get several Pumas, since he should be expecting this ISU, which is, I'm sure, what you were hinting at a moment ago.
Yeah, it is. And he has 120 fuel in the bank right now, and the new car, and it would be disastrous for him to set up the new car that supply the truck as the flag truck, because his only chance of taking down the ISU is with Pumas right now. It is literally the only unit he has that can keep him in the game.
Oh! Damn.
A very efficient strike, though. Jeez.
Yes.
That's what I hate about the Stuka. Sometimes it just kills the whole MG crew.
Well, it looked like, yeah, it out and out destroyed the gun, so I had not been paying attention to the health on that.
Me neither, but I don't think it could have taken damage from anything.
Yeah, possibly a stray Panzerschreck, but here comes the ISU.
Big Daddy Love, as I like to call. And this is really where what I mean with Soviets having the better late game in this matchup, because the ISU, with the rest of the composition I have right now, is a very, very fresh unit composition. It's kind of like a King Tiger without a turret, but a sniper version.
Yes. Now, is the ISU one that you find yourself going with on nearly every map, or is it? Oh man, that is a lucky Volk squad right there.
Yeah, with the first shot. Yeah.
Yes. Or is
the ISU? It's a mix between that and the KV8 and IS2 doctrine. It depends on how the game has been. I'm not really sure what I feel are the pointers that make me go the different doctrines, since you actually need to take them so early for the shock troopers. But the KV8 is generally if I feel I need something in the mid game to keep me in the game.
One thing I've noticed Siberian doing a lot of, which I really like to see, is laying down lots and lots of sandbags wherever he thinks he's going to need to fight, so that he's well prepared whenever you come up. Bolshevik, nearly go down to the ISU after they put in a Panzerfaust, but now they're running away in cloak because there's lots and lots of yellow cover all over the center of the map from that walking Stuka. 18 kills on that thing, man.
Main gun destroyed on the Kugelwagen. ISU.
5% bug lives.
I'm not sure how that's supposed to reflect anything in real life.
I'm gonna try to zoom in on this thing and see what is happening with the gun. Looks like the gunner is just kind of cowering in the back seat.
Yeah. Okay, but he has a Puma right now, flanking the ISU.
Very nice. And I have not seen you laying a lot of mines.
I haven't right now, but I do have the HE gun in the back. But he has a really good use of smoke there.
Yeah, we're using attack ground to try to fire into the smoke.
Yeah, with the HE gun I was. But I was also kind of semi-panicking.
Oh my god, yeah, this ISU is in trouble.
But as long as I get the front to his Puma, I don't think it will penetrate that much.
No, not with the frequency that he needs. I see a new vehicle moving around quickly, so it's a second Puma. guess Siberian saw his opportunity to pounce, but yeah, if he'd been able to combine that with a shot from his walking Stuka to clear the AT gun, yeah, I think you would have been up shit creek there.
Well, it's just the last Puma he can get on right now. That hurts.
Yeah.
But what you can see, by getting the ISU, you force the OKW player to play differently. He's playing into my hands right now. Although he doesn't have any other options because of the ISU.
Yes, and although they've reduced the efficiency of the ISU some, he's using a bombing strike.
Yeah, I was worried that his AT gun there might take out the ISU, so I used the air strike.
No way! I can't believe that actually. I can't believe that actually connected. That is, I'm sorry, Siberian. That's bad luck.
Yeah.
Your sniper, down to one man, but he's got 21 kills and has just been kind of quietly plucking away in the background.
Yeah, with the German snipers, they can operate alone, then the Soviets needs to have the guts to do it as well.
Ooh, ISU putting in some nasty hits. He's only got 10 kills, which he's been around for a fair number of minutes.
He's done a good job at forcing me to the turret, and I didn't have a good feel for how much fuel he had right now, so I wasn't sure if he was getting another Puma. To be honest, I was surprised that he got one to begin with. Not because it was a bad idea, just because I'm not used to seeing them that often, actually.
Oh, that's a lucky sniper right there.
I know a lot of players like to get the Panther instead of the Puma as the OKW, but with him going the walking Stuka earlier, he didn't have the resources at all.
So I'd be curious to hear from Siberian if this is like a set strategy that he uses to kind of lock down the top side of the map, then push out from there. Because doing that, you're going to really restrict the amount of fuel that you can get, and then going tier 1, tier 2 really makes a lot of sense to use the Pumas the way that he is.
Yeah, that's right, and I've noticed a lot of
friendly fire.
If you think that's bad, then I once had a veteran C3 shock trooper squad at full strength chasing down a Folks Grenadier squad, and they all died to the ISU, except for the Folks. Except for the Folks.
Well, maybe if they'd been a little less cowardly, then they would have lived. So I see you've gotten yourself a second ISU 152.
And right now with the ISU, I shot through that hedge. That's a really good tip for people that don't know. On some of the hedges in the game, you can shoot through them if you use attack ground.
Yeah, it almost makes the concrete piercing round a bit redundant and 90 munitions sink. You know, that works if you need to shoot through a building, but with so many of the shot blockers, penetratable, I guess is how you would put it.
Yeah, I've only used the concrete shot once, and it missed, so I don't have...
Oh! Well, your ISU just got 4 friendly kills by blasting some shock troopers in the back. Very nice. Kugelwagen finally goes down.
But not that it would make that much of a difference now with the current compositions and all. But getting 2 ISUs it's extreme. Just make sure you don't clump them together so one can shoot if the other one gets flanked. That's a mistake that I see a lot of people do.
Yes, and you can end up with tanks or your enemy's vehicles getting in close, blocking, and hitting them from the back. But I'm curious why you decided to get the second ISU rather than getting any kind of lighter vehicles. Ow. Ow.
Yeah, that squad wipe hurts. Well, the thing is, and that's also the reason why I just stalled for the ISUs. If you get like a T-34, you can see his Northern Puma went down right now, and even if he does kill this ISU, then I still have the other one, so it's not the end of the world, but it's still... Yeah, I'm a bit anxious right now. I can't remember if it died,
no.
But it looks like it'll make it.
Driven his what?
That's...
Sync error detected.
Yeah, I got the same.
Is that
I think he quit right now.
Ah.
So.
Well,
But just to finish what I was saying before, yeah, as a Soviets, you can have a playstyle where you don't build tier 3 or tier 4 at all, unless you want to surprise your opponent. So you still have those options available to you. But you don't build them, and then you save up the fuel for the heavy tanks. Because you need to remember that if you do get out just one T-34, then let's say you get up to T-34 and then you have just enough fuel for an IS-2 or the ISU here. Then the T-34 will, in a sense, also have cost the buildings cost, since that's the only thing you're going to use it for. So it's a very expensive tank in that case.
Yes, although I will pipe up for the in defense of the other units from tier 3 and tier 4. So I have seen the double IS. I think we've probably all seen the double ISU 152, and I've seen it blow up in quite a few people's faces. So I think what you were saying about keeping them spread out, because yeah, if you put them side by side, they can be a little too easy to flank. But
It's really it comes down to how much micro that you can let yourself perform, because I see people do it as well with snipers. There's no reason to have them standing exactly on top of each other unless it's range restrictions or line of sight. It's always better to have them spread out so that one of them can kite chasing troops while the other one plucks away.
yes, in particular when they have the sprint ability, then you can really cause your opponent some headaches
Yeah, the
with.
sprint ability is one of the best abilities at level 1, if you ask me. I use it a lot, especially with the MGs. You can use them to sprint and then use attack move. It's so stupid.
So people have been people have been having difficulties against a double Kubelwagen opening, or just Kubelwagen opening in general. I mean, that was one of the things you were talking about with me beforehand, and when sending me this replay. I wonder if you have any other words to say about that before we wrap this up.
Yeah, from my experience, even with OKW, when I have just one Kubel, some Soviet players like to get tier 1 uh, for the armored car. And of course, that the armored car, or the scout car, sorry, the scout car has some good damage from the Kubel, but the Soviet player, I feel, no, the OKW player, I feel he can just retreat his Kubelwagen, and then the Kubel will have cost him less than the scout car and the tier 1 cost will have for the Soviets. So he just has to wait some time until he can. He just needs to, again, I spoke about logistics earlier, he can just outmaneuver his opponent. Since when you go tier 1, it's to make sure that you won't be cut off as the Soviets. You don't want to be cut off, but you can do that with just the conscripts and scout, not the scout, the engineers, if you spread them out early on, as I did here. If
Well,
he, let's say that he didn't get the second Kubelwagen with this opening, then he would be a Kubel and the Stone Pioneers against the engineers and 2 conscripts. So I have one more unit than him. And seeing that he is on my part of the map, I'll be able to get the 3rd conscripts before his folks arrive.
yes. Well, hopefully the Kubel will be getting a few changes at some point to cause a few less headaches. But honestly, the game is in the state that it is right now, so we got to learn to live with it. And yes,
Yeah, it's a strong unit, but
but it's not undefeatable.
it, there is some cheese you could do on Samoa with it. Uh,
Yes.
but I haven't lost to it yet myself, but I can see that it's very potent to just rush the cutoff. But you need to remember as a Soviet player that if he rushes them, then you yourself you will have not a lot of territory, and he won't have captured territory either since he's rushing you. And as I said here in this game, as a Soviet, you don't need tier 3 or tier 4. So you just keep calling in units, get tier 2 up. If the worst happens and he does cut you off, then get tier 2 up. The 80 gun as a good counter. You'll also have the MG, which beats the Kubelwagen. It's a bit of a silly matchup, but it does beat it, or just outmaneuver him. Just
Yeah.
spread out.
Just keep your
because
cool and don't throw in the towel just because you get frustrated early.
yeah, exactly. My biggest advice I could give for people is to make it a habit to get that logistic part of the game down. Spread out your troops, but keep them relatively close. Have a plan so that they can assist each other if he attacks, and then use the buildings, use the line of sight to see where his troops are, and count them in your head so you know I can outmaneuver him down here, then attack him when you have the advantage, and then retreat when you don't. And that's something Silver's are good at with the Ura and soft pedaling.
So, thank you for obliging me when I asked you to send me a replay. And now that you've been outed, do you think you'll be throwing up some more replays on COH2.org or other places?
Yeah, I might make a replay pack. I'll have to see. It's a bit weird for me that the replays get obsolete with every patch. That's how I've understood it works.
Oh
Which
yes.
that's really dumb. But it's good to be back in the game, and um, I don't think the balance is as bad as some people make it out to be in 1 versus 1 right now.
And on that note, Aimstrong, it has been a joy to cast a game together with you. So, bye-bye, folks. You can say goodbye
Goodbye, folks.
now.
I hope we'll see each other sometime.
Indeed.